Passports becoming obsolete? You're crazy. Passports are a tangible element of a very much larger system. We all know this. For border management and travel, there's layers and layers of depth for security, usability, privacy, data control, and universality. Universality is a major element of the physical passport. You don't need a $2,000 smartphone to cross a border, and you shouldn't, because the right to travel, the right to move is deeply ingrained around the world. We need open travel and free travel. Will electronic and fully digital passports exist in the future? Yes, absolutely, because we're already in a digital world. We're not universally in a digital world. We're not at the same level playing field across the world. There are inequities, but the digital world permits things that the physical world doesn't. Deeper data checks, more connectivity, more correlations across data that are required for higher security and more seamless travel.
In terms of the obsolescence of physical passports, fundamentally, I don't believe that will be in my lifetime. I need to back up that with some rationale as to why that would be the case. And essentially, when we look at the history of passports, starting in 1968, when ICAO under the United Nations first started looking at interoperable international standards for passports, that length of time between 1968 and now to get to a point where we have physical passports being issued by all countries that meet standards, but not necessarily all of those being chip documents in themselves, gives a clue to how long this industry takes to change. If we look to the future with digital identity, and in particular digital travel credentials, there being three types of those. Type 1 still requires a physical passport. Type 2 still requires a physical passport. And type 3 is the point in time when a digital travel credential can be used on its own without a physical passport. We don't have standards for type 3 yet, either on paper, let alone ratified. As such, physical passports are still very much part of what we're doing today and will continue to be the case into the future.
So biometrics will be the catalyst to completely revolutionise the passenger experience. They already have at border control points. The adoption of seamless biometrics will start to reduce bottlenecks and increase throughput, where airports have peaks and troughs and passenger loads vary. Well, how many times do you have to prove that you are you on an outbound journey? And imagine being able to do that without having to present a document, passport and boarding pass at each of those touchpoints. The rise of pre-traveller verification checks through ETAs and entry-exit system in Europe will enable and be a catalyst to start using those verifications to enable you to use seamless. From check-in to bag drop through security, to border, boarding, and potentially use of a lounge, you'll be able to use your biometrics as a token, and that entire end-to-end experience will be very different from where it is today. Those airports and airlines that start to use seamless biometrics and adopt it quicker and accept that this will be the norm will be able to differentiate themselves and give passengers that truly unique experience and a hassle-free but equally secure experience throughout the end-to-end journey.
The reality is, biometrics have been used for more than a decade to improve the experience of passengers, to move through the airport better, faster. We ourselves have deployed some 5,000 devices to address those touch points and replace a passport check or a boarding pass check, those bits of paper, with using your face. And that's the reality for border management too. We're now seeing that acceptance. So biometrics, your face, this is by far the best biometric to capture on the move, at speed, and with really good accuracy. Move through the process, having your checks done, using your face, linked to records that you have agreed to share with the authorities. That's the exciting advent that biometrics are delivering to a fast, safe, secure border crossing experience.
So I think for me, the thing that's really exciting at the moment is to see the extent to which face biometrics are being accepted by the public in travel use cases in particular, for travel generally, and also crossing international borders. I think our sense of it is that the public are really becoming comfortable with that. They're expecting to see that. And that has a really positive knock-on effect for what we can do at the border point, because it's possible now to have a much lighter touch at the border itself, and potentially just to have people cross an international border using their face only, because all of their personal data, both their biometric data and their passport data, has already been sent in advance in some cases. And I just had that experience myself literally just a month ago in Curacao, a beautiful island in the south part of the Caribbean, where the government has implemented exactly what I've just described. So an ability, and the program is called Express Pass. There are 39 countries already eligible to do this. And the great part about this is that this is not a pilot. This is absolutely deployed for real for those 39 countries. And I was able to send my data before travel, both my face and my passport data. And when I arrived for the first time ever in the island of Curacao, I literally just walked across the border with my face only in a biometric corridor. I didn't take my passport out of my bag. I didn't speak to a border officer. And there I was legally in the country of Curacao, just walking across the border. And having worked in this space for many years now, that's literally the first time I've been able to do that anywhere in the world. And I think that's a terrific and exciting development for the future of borders.
It's obviously a very important area for any organisation, particularly government agencies that are related to, passport MRTD processing, driver's licensing, and so forth. But any area moving forward, including banking and so on. The way I see it evolving is that online is definitely where most organisations are going, and that in itself is both an opportunity and a risk. Right? Opportunity for onboarding, a risk obviously for any potential credential that is not accurate or has been modified for deliberate purposes. The beauty is that moving forward, there is technology available today, particularly in the image capture area, amongst other areas, including signature data capture and so forth, and extra, other parts where the metadata that capture is read to verify that there is only one singular image in the case of image capture, and therefore gives authorities, peace of mind that it is actually the original authentic image, and there's no interlacing that's occurred as a result of that.
The introduction of verifiable credentials in conjunction with digital identity over the next few years will change the way we interact in our daily lives. Digital identity and verifiable credentials will provide citizens with the option of a convenient, secure, and inclusive way of verifying their identity and credentials in both online and person-to-person transactions with government and business. The tamper-evident design of verifiable credentials through the use of cryptographic signatures, coupled with the use of facial recognition biometrics to bind one's digital identity, will provide society with a way to combat the ever-increasing occurrence of fraud, whilst providing a more convenient and efficient option of carrying out day-to-day activities such as banking and travel. Examples of key verifiable credentials for use in daily life could include digital travel credential, student ID, health ID, trade ID. The societal need for digital ID and verifiable credentials will ensure that government, business and citizens collectively drive the evolution and adoption of these in our daily lives.
I'd like to see in the next 12 months that some of the hype cycle and excitement and just media reaction and buzz around artificial intelligence becomes a little bit more considered. Artificial intelligence wasn't invented with ChatGPT in February 2024. It's been researched heavily for 70 years by various people around neural networks, mathematics, and those kinds of concepts. And it's a broad discipline. It covers everything from sentient robot intelligence through to maybe, is this an avocado in your fridge? You're doing training, but it's not just about training, it's not just about machine learning, it's about vision, recognition, simulation of things that people do. And so getting people to understand that Gen AI is not the same as AI, the universe of AI. It's a piece. And there are many pieces. If you were going to build a robot, one piece is how they perform calculations and recognise people. One piece is how it undertakes vision. There's another piece, how it interacts with other people and other entities, how it moves around. All of that is part of AI. Self-driving cars are not in our biometrics program, but they're the same kind of AI concept as doing iris recognition and image capture. So just getting to, in the next 12 months, just relaxing a little bit and the general noise around what AI really means, and that there's still a place for everything else.